Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the secret mental journey we all go on when we're buying a service. It's this whole process packed with some pretty unique psychology, and believe me, it is completely different from just buying a physical product. So let's break down why.
Okay, let's get right into it with a question I think you've probably felt before. Buying a new phone, that can actually be fun, right? You're comparing specs, you're reading reviews, you know exactly what you're going to get. But hiring a plumber or a financial advisor, or even just finding a good mechanic, suddenly it feels like a total leap of faith. So, why is that?
Well, the heart of the problem really boils down to one key difference: tangibility. With a product, like, say, a coffee maker, you can see it, you can touch it, you can evaluate its features before you ever spend a single penny. But a service, that's a whole different ballgame. You're not buying an object, you're buying an invisible promise. A promise of expertise, a future result, a good experience. And this whole intangibility thing, it forces our brains to look for clues in a completely different way. To understand this, marketers classify these clues into three really powerful categories. First up, you've got what we call search qualities. Basically, these are all the things you can figure out before you buy. When you're trying on a shirt, you can instantly judge the color, the fit, the feel of the fabric. Physical goods are just packed with these easy-to-find clues. Next, we have experience qualities. And with these, the only way to really know is to, well, experience it. How good was that meal at the new restaurant? How relaxing was that vacation? You absolutely have to commit your time and your money just to find out. And finally, we get to the trickiest of them all: credence qualities. Now, think about this for a second. These are things where you might never truly know if you got your money's worth. Did your mechanic actually fix the right part? Was that medical diagnosis the absolute best one? For these, you're forced to operate almost entirely on trust. So here's the crucial takeaway. Most physical goods, they live way over on the left side of the spectrum, right? High in those easy-to-judge search qualities. But services, oh, they live almost exclusively on the right, totally dominated by those uncertain experience and credence qualities. And that is why choosing a plumber feels so risky. Because of all this, our buying process isn't just random. It's actually a pretty predictable three-act play. You've got the search, then the encounter, and finally, the verdict. So let's raise the curtain on Act 1, the big choice. So in this pre-purchase stage, your brain is working overtime on one single mission: to make the invisible visible. And what that really means is you're subconsciously trying to manage a huge factor that's always lurking with services, and that's risk. I mean, it makes sense, right? Services naturally feel riskier. You can't see the final result. The quality isn't standardized. The same haircut from the same person can be different every time. And unlike a phone, services almost never come with a warranty. This is exactly why we value personal recommendations and word of mouth so much. They're not just helpful suggestions. They are our brain's #1 defense against risk. Okay, so you've navigated all that risk, you've weighed your options, and you finally make a choice. You enter the service encounter itself. And this is where your brain runs this really fascinating and often subconscious calculation to decide if you're actually happy with your decision. But here's a really interesting twist. Our satisfaction? It's not a simple good or bad switch. We don't judge a service against some single perfect ideal. No, it turns out our brains are actually a lot more flexible than that. See, we all operate with what psychologists call a zone of tolerance. Up at the top, you have your desired service. That's the wow experience you're really hoping for. Down at the bottom, you have the adequate service. That's the absolute minimum you'll accept without complaining. As long as the performance falls anywhere inside that zone, you're generally satisfied. If it falls below that line, you're unhappy. But if it exceeds your desired level, that's where you get customer delight. Now, this entire psychological journey we've been talking about, from managing risk to judging the experience, is being radically reshaped right now. Technology is stepping in to help us solve that core, nagging intangibilities problem. Just think about it for a second. Online reviews are basically word of mouth on a massive scale. All of a sudden, that one friend's opinion is multiplied by thousands, giving us this incredibly powerful tool to slash our pre-purchase risk. Technology is also making services more tangible through virtual experiences. You can walk through a hotel room from your couch or watch a super detailed video of a process. It lets you try before you buy in a way that was just never possible before. And AI is pushing this whole thing even further. By personalizing services, it can make a standard experience feel completely unique to you. And this doesn't just meet our expectations,
It's actively raising the bar for what we all consider a good service.
So all of this leads to the new world we're living in right now. As consumers, we're more connected and we are more informed than ever before. We expect higher quality and way more options. And for the people providing the services, this means the bar has been raised dramatically. Technology isn't just a tool anymore. It has completely changed the game.
So I'll leave you with this question. As technology keeps making the invisible visible, will that stress of choosing a plumber ever truly disappear? Or will our expectations just keep rising and rising, creating a whole new kind of pressure? It's something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.